What's up, everybody? Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about reviving a judgment. This has become a huge new opportunity that debt collectors are going all over the country looking for judgments, contacting the creditors or even other debt collectors who had already got a judgment and they couldn't collect on the money. They're saying, hey, we'll either buy it from you or we will help you collect by reviving that judgment. Now, what happens with people is that they're thinking that, hey, I haven't paid them for all these years. They're not going to get any money. It's going to eventually just go away. And then all of a sudden they get a letter in the mail, a notice from the court stating that a debt collection company or even the original creditor, if they decided to hire a debt collection company to do this, is that they said they are submitting a court action to revive the judgment. So now let's get into that and why it's so important and why you need to pay attention to this video, because you might be thinking that you've settled down and the money is not, you're not gonna have to worry about that judgment anymore, and you've moved on, and then all of a sudden, after you've rebuilt your credit, after you rebuilt your life, rebuilt your life financially, all of a sudden you get a letter in the mail, or you even get summons to court by someone knocking on your door, and they're saying that they're a debt collection company is petitioning to revive a judgment. So now let's go over what that actually means. So when you get a judgment against you, you lose in court, either default judgment or you go to court and you lose, and they get a financial judgment against you. Financial. They have upwards of 20 years, up to 20 years. Now, student loans can be longer, but they have 20 years to collect on that judgment. But most states make them have to do what's called revive the judgment. So that means that after a certain period of time, if they haven't tried to collect on it and it goes past a certain period of time, they will not be able to collect on that judgment. Yes, you might have a judgment on your records, but they will not be able to collect on it. So first, let's look at the state of Alabama. So a judgment is valid for 10 years. So it may be revived for another 10 years, but they have to do it. They have to do that within that 10 years. If they wait after 10 years, it's not going to happen. Let's go here, Alaska. It says 5-year period lapses. If they don't do it within 5 years, they will not be able to revive it. Arizona, we got Arizona here, and it says 10 years. So 10 years. Arkansas, 10 years. Let's go to Florida. Florida, why do Florida always do this to us? But Florida says 20 years. So no matter what, it's just going to be up to 20 years. I'm going to look up to see if that's changed, because this might not be updated. Georgia, 7 years. Hawaii, 10 years. Idaho, 10 years. And I got this out of order because I'm going to scroll down the page. Illinois, 7 years. So if they do not do it within 7 years, it will not be able to be revived. Indiana, 20 years. Let's go down. We got California, 10 years. Colorado, what do we got for Colorado? 6 years. Connecticut, straight up 20. Delaware, 10. District of Columbia, 12 years. We got Iowa, 20, straight up 20. 10 years, 10 years. We got 10 years. Kansas, we got 5 years. Kentucky, 15 years. What? You know, the poorest states have the worst. The poorest states have the worst statute of limitations and even 15 years for this judgment renewal. So after 15 years, they can't do it, but they can still do it for another 5 years. Louisiana, judgment, 10 years. Maine, 20 years flat. Maryland, 12 years. Let's go down. Massachusetts, we got 12 years. Michigan, 5 years. Minnesota, 10 years. Mississippi, 7 years. Missouri, 10 years. Montana, 10 years. Ohio, revival of judgment. Ohio, 5 years. Oklahoma, revival of judgment, 5 years. Oregon, 10 years. Pennsylvania, revival of judgment, 5 years. Rhode Island, revival of judgments, 12 years. South Carolina, 10 years. We got South Carolina. We got Nebraska, revival of judgments, 10 years. We got Nevada. We got petition, 6 years. We got New Hampshire, 20 years straight up. I'm going to research that to see if that's any different now. We got New Jersey, 12 years. I think that this has been updated because New Jersey is very consumer oriented when it comes to debt collection. New Mexico, 14 years. New York, revival of judgment in New York, 10 years. North Carolina, we got 10 years. We got to go back up here. South Carolina, we talked about that one. South Dakota, 10 years. Tennessee, 10 years. Revival of judgment. Texas, within 2 years. Texas, within 2 years. Utah, we got to renew a judgment, revive a judgment. Utah, 8 years. Vermont, to revive a judgment, to renew a judgment, 8 years. North Carolina, 10 years. North Dakota, we have a judgment. I think that went up here, North Dakota. Up on the top here. North Dakota, 10 years. Virginia, 12 years. Washington, for reviving a judgment, renewing a judgment, 10 years. West Virginia, reviving a judgment, renewing a judgment, 10 years. Wisconsin, I've always known about Wisconsin. That's where we're at. Let's see where we're at here. Wisconsin, 10 years. And 5 years for Wyoming. So what does that mean for you? That means that if they have not taken any action, they already got the judgment. And I know this could be very confusing to people because it's like, okay, they did get a judgment against me. That means that they took action on it. But if they're not taking action after that and it has lied dormant for that period of time, they cannot renew that judgment. That means that, or revive or renew. In other words, collect on that judgment. So if you have a company that comes to you, you get a summons in the mail, you need to immediately look at this because you may not have to pay that judgment due to the revival/renewal statute of limitations on your judgment. Listen to me, because this is very important. These debt collection companies are going around buying these judgments from original creditors and other debt collectors and renewing them or reviving them and collecting money on them. And some of them cannot even be renewed. And if you don't show up to court, there's no challenge on that renewal, and they're going to automatically be able to renew it up to another to finish out the 20 years. All right. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, to check out my 8-point validation process, my 2-page settlement process. That's the way that we repair credit. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports, complete credit reports, so you know exactly what's going on with your credit. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter, so you can stop debt collectors before it even gets to something like this. Please subscribe to my channel. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.